Did you guys hear that I've been sued dozens upon dozens of times? This is something that I actually just learned myself a couple of days ago. I've been sued dozens upon dozens of times, and every time that I've been sued, like I mobilize like an army of I guess like mafia goons or something. I don't know, something like that. I don't know how this is supposed to work, but I mobilize this veritable army to harass the people who are suing me into silence. I actually just learned this about myself yesterday from a series of tweets by the incredibly mentally stable cock and ball torture / children entertainer YouTuber known as Kraut. Let's check those out. And he's been like on a tear, just like spamming about me for days and days. He's been claiming that I have been like the leader of like a coordinated gangstalking harassment campaign against him for like 5 years straight. Basically because I made a couple of videos debunking his videos, like the history videos on his channel. And ever since then, he has like created this insane narrative where I have been like a gang stalking harassment ringleader against him. He posted on Twitter like, I can't actually show you the original Twitter because I don't have an account. And one of the things that Elon Musk did to Twitter, because he's a fucking moron, is he made it so that you can't look at tweets unless you have an account. So here's screenshots at least. Now, one of the things that Kraut has been doing is like spamming just shit that he made up. Like he's like, this guy's been harassing me for 5 years repeatedly, and he doesn't actually provide any evidence of that, of course, because it doesn't exist. He could at least like fake a screenshot every now and again. That would be like at least try to provide fake evidence. But then he's also Kraut, right? Or Kraut, however the fuck you say it. If I'm disrespecting the German language with my pronunciation, I don't care. It deserves it. So his specialty has always been to just make unsourced claims with a British accent confidently, repeatedly. So, you know, you just have to trust me that these tweets are real. You're just going to have to trust me. I'm not going to provide you any evidence that these aren't just fake screenshots. They might be. But in the spirit of Kraut, in the spirit of sourcing my claims as well as Kraut does, I'm just going to take these as 100% true and real. Because I haven't actually seen the original tweets myself. These were just screenshotted and posted by someone else. So that's how I saw them initially. So this could be fake. This could not even be real. But in the spirit of being as rigorous as an average Kraut video, I'm going to take them as 100% true and factual with no analysis whatsoever. So, according to Kraut, he got some information from Buenos Aires about the YouTuber known as Bad Empanada, and he would like to share with you a few things I just learned. Bad Empanada is already known to lawyers in Buenos Aires. Over the course of a few years, he has doxed, harassed, sent violent threats, defamed, and sent his audience to do all of those things to over 50 people, many of whom are from Buenos Aires. So, lawyers in Buenos Aires, just like lawyers in this one particular city, they know of me. Like, as a collective, they know of me. Like, I guess they have, like, a cabal or something where they, like, have secret meetings, like the stonemasons or whatever. And they speak about people, and I'm known to them. And over 50 people have tried to sue me over the course of a few years for despicable crimes like violent threats and defamation and sending my audience after them. Which is very interesting, given that my audience doesn't speak Spanish. However, I keep getting away with it for a simple reason. The civil litigation and court system in Argentina is broken due to decades of government mismanagement. And if you want to sue someone in an Argentine civil court, the costs and paperwork are enormous. I mean, isn't it expensive to sue someone in like any court in the world? Really, it's way beyond the average person's capabilities to just sue someone. So he goes on, you can spend years stuck doing paperwork and spending tons of money before even going to a single court hearing on any matter you may be litigating in the Argentine civil court system. And Bad Empanada takes advantage of that. As soon as he is served papers informing him that he is being sued, the person suing him is flooded with violent threats online. This is like deranged gang-stalking conspiracy theory stuff. You have to wonder why he doesn't actually provide any evidence of this ever happening. Like, where is any evidence of anyone ever suing me? Even once, let alone 50 times. It's just, I swear to God, I spoke to a lawyer. Now, this might come as a shock to you, but the chance that he actually spoke to a lawyer is slim to none for a very simple reason, in that everything that he said here, aside from doxing is not a crime, harassment, sending violent threats, defamation, those are crimes. And what he's talking about here is people filing civil lawsuits against me. Like suing, not actually filing a criminal complaint. You wouldn't file a civil suit against someone for those crimes. You would file a criminal complaint. So he clearly has not been contacting a lawyer. Like if you look at defamation law in Argentina, defamation or false allegations of a crime that give rise to public action will be punished with a crime of 3,000 pesos to 30,000 pesos. This is in the criminal code, Código Penal. This is not in the civil code. So these are criminal matters. They aren't civil matters. So I think it's safe to say that given that Kraut does not know the basics of defamation in Argentina, he probably didn't actually speak to a lawyer about any of this. And then he goes on to say, as soon as he is served papers informing that he's being sued, the person suing him is flooded with violent threats online, as well as threats and harassment via phone calls directed at that person, their family, and their employees, which continues until the case is dropped. You have to wonder as to how he hasn't actually provided any evidence of this, right? You have to wonder, there's 50 people have sued me, and there's not even like a single piece of paper trail to prove any of that. And somehow, like, I'm so powerful as like an independent YouTuber, like a rather niche, smallish channel. I'm so powerful that I can mobilize like hundreds or dozens of people to like do like weeks upon weeks of coordinated harassment of people who are suing me until they drop the case. Which really interesting, because wouldn't that just be like more of a crime? Wouldn't that just get me into more trouble? But you know, he just spreads this narrative that like in Argentina there's basically no law whatsoever. There's no law. It's like the Wild West basically. You can do whatever you want. Which isn't true, and certainly not true for someone who is against Milei's government. And then he continues, every person who's taken the step of actually suing Bad Empanada has so far basically been harassed and threatened into dropping the case. In summary, Bad Empanada is a foreigner who moved to a country broken by bad policies, takes advantage of those broken systems to enjoy impunity and zero consequences for any of his actions. Like, what actions? While living a good life on foreign currency earned through those awful actions. I think that's a bit of a Freudian slip there. Like, he considers my videos debunking him to be awful actions. That's what this is really about. He's making this shit up where, like, I have been sued 50 times and harassed my supposed victims into silence. All because I made like one video refuting him. Not even really refuting him. The video that I made, like the Iraq War video, he's mentioned like for maybe 2 or 3, maybe 5 minutes at the beginning as like one of the people who I thought was wrong about this topic. One of the people out of 3 of the 3 total people who I was responding to. And for him, that was enough to like just set him off until the end of time. That was enough for him to like create this narrative in his head where he's basically being gang stalked by me and my dark cabal of sycophant followers who dedicate all of their time to just, I guess, stalking and harassing him. How exactly? We don't know. He doesn't actually have any evidence. As I said, he could at least like fabricate a screenshot of me talking to him or something, but he doesn't have that, does he? One of these things that people do on YouTube, and I should have mentioned this at the beginning of this segment, people on YouTube, when you refute them, when you debunk them, and they don't know how to respond, or they're just too lazy to even try to respond, one of the ways in which they will respond is just to screech about harassment, or to like talk about you in everything about you except the actual issue at hand, except the facts at hand, except the thing that you're actually talking about. And he's doing both of those, obviously. He's like, Bad Empanada making videos refuting my videos that I made as a public figure with 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. My videos that got millions of views. I swear to God, the reason why I hate him is not because I was debunked in that video and I don't know how to respond to it. It's because he spent 5 years harassing me. Just take my word for that, buddy. I have no evidence of it. Just take my word. He's absolutely been harassing me for 5 years. How exactly? Well, he doesn't provide any evidence of that, so the only thing that we can assume is that he considers my videos debunking him to be harassment, because those are like the few times that I've ever actually interacted with him in any way. And then it's like, this person is also very bad. Like, he's had 50 people sue him, and every single time he has mobilized an army of like drones to harass them into silence. Just some insane made-up bullshit that you would have to be a complete moron to take his word on, because it would that sort of thing would obviously leave an abundance of evidence. It would be covered in the news media. There would be a ton of like judicial documentation around this, especially because in Argentina, civil lawsuit documents are public, so you would be able to just find them on the internet. So where are they? They don't exist, do they? So the guy just blatantly makes shit up and spams it, and he's like, it's my word. I said it. It's true. But at the end of the day, what more can you expect from him? Because that's what he does in his videos. He says shit with no source. And then when you actually try to find a source, it turns out he plagiarized it most of the time. Honestly, the allegations that he's making against me, they aren't really original either. Like, he actually started out accusing me of pedophilia, if you didn't know. So what happened first is, like, after I uploaded that video refuting him on the Iraq War, Kraut actually started engaging in what he would consider harassment if it was being done to him. Obviously, because his standard for harassment is, like, people making videos about me. Now, I don't like to consider myself a victim of anything, because obviously this shit doesn't affect me at all. It doesn't bother me. It's just kind of weird and embarrassing for him more than anything. But if this happened to him, he would consider himself a victim of harassment. So after that video, he started posting immediately, like, just pictures of my face on his Twitter, repeatedly. Dozens upon dozens of times he did this. Pictures of my face on Twitter, just over and over again. He just would not stop doing it. So his response to being debunked on YouTube was to just spam pictures of me on Twitter. Okay. You're just fucking weird, dude. You're just bizarre. You're just like a bizarre weirdo. So he has been doing what he would consider harassment against me for many months. And then this culminated in him posting a fake screenshot accusing me of pedophilia. So this guy who is like framing himself as my harassment victim attempted to frame me as a pedophile to try and get people to kill me. And this was in response to someone saying, it's cropped out of this screenshot, but it was someone telling him to debate me. So his reaction to someone telling him to debate me, as in, you know, have a debate regarding the facts and the things that we disagree on, was to just accuse me of pedophilia, accuse me of child sex crimes. And this guy is framing himself as the victim of some incredible, massive harassment campaign. It's fucking absurd. The thing with this stuff, this doesn't actually affect me at all. Like, I understand, I think to most people this would affect them a lot, you know, and it's understandable. Like, being accused of pedophilia with fake bullshit that people made up about you because you consider Palestinians to be human, that's rough. But it like doesn't matter to me, because I feel like the sort of people who believe in that shit just on face value without considering, did you know that Twitter screenshots can be edited and fake? Did you know that? Did you know that, like, a Kraut saying something about you with no evidence can just be discarded out of hand? And I feel like if people don't have that basic impulse to be like, you know, maybe this person's just making this shit up, then I don't want anything to do with them, and I'm okay with it if they hate me. That just means I don't have to deal with them. That just means they'll stay away from me. Like, if that is your level of cognitive ability, of your ability to assess evidence, then you're not equipped to watch my content anyway. You're not equipped to engage with my content anyway. So filtering yourself out like that is fine by me. This thing actually began as well with Vorsh's community. They since deleted the post, unfortunately, but I think it's 2, maybe 3 years ago. There is at least a video that I made about it, where like Vorsh's fans initially they made up like a fake Discord screenshot and claimed that I had been arrested like 2 years ago, like a year and a half ago, around that. Yeah, I'm streaming, like, this post has since been deleted. I wonder why. But they made up like this fake Discord screenshot saying that I was arrested in Argentina for child porn, basically. And to back it up, they posted like a picture of like a guy who is clearly not me who is arrested. And the reason why they did this, obviously, it's in retaliation, because I would bring up the fact that Vorsh defended pedophilia and like admitted to perusing drawn cheese pizza. And then a year after that, it turned out that Vorsh showed his cheese pizza collection live on stream, which confirmed what I had been saying about him for a long time. But for them, like, there was this idea that if you accuse Vorsh based on actual evidence of being attracted to kids, then it's fair game for them to like falsely accuse you of being arrested for child sex crimes. And then like Zionist harassment groups, first it was the Shirion Collective who initially did it. They like found these screenshots on Google and started spamming them everywhere. And then they also made that other one that we just went over, the one that Kraut posted. And then they started spamming that to accuse me of pedophilia, etc., because, you know, I was shitting on Israel for doing fucking genocide against Palestinians. And Kraut, interestingly, is someone who has been supporting the genocide of Palestinians and attacking people who are against it ever since it has begun. So, you know, it's not really a surprise that he's involved in this. And it's not really a surprise that someone who can't actually respond to any of the actual facts of the arguments that he was refuted on, the best that he can manage is to just make shit up. Like, 50 people have tried to sue him. 50 people have tried to sue him, and all of them have been harassed into silence. And like, he posts fake screenshots of me accusing me of pedophilia, and then he has the gall to complain when people Photoshop him into that exact same screenshot, fake screenshot that he posted of me. Like, you posted a fake screenshot accusing me of pedophilia, and then you frame yourself as the victim when people retaliate against you in kind, doing the exact same thing that you did. So this guy is like the thinnest skin guy in the entire world. He literally cannot take criticism of his videos to the point that he will like fabricate and elaborate like gang stalking narrative. Like he responds to people on Twitter who don't 100% agree with him as if he thinks they're me. He thinks that basically everyone who responds to him on Twitter who doesn't agree with him is a sock puppet of me. Which honestly, I'm okay with him believing that. It's like an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, except against one single person. Like I'm his George Soros. It's amazing. And if someone else was doing what he is doing to me to him, he would like just break. He's so fucking thin-skinned, like a public personality who makes political videos on the internet, spreads like pro-genocide propaganda on the internet. That's what he does. And people respond to him and he's like, oh my God, I'm being victimized. He says the same thing about other people who respond to him as well, not just me. Though he's been particularly obsessed with me lately. There was Freda, and there was the Russian guy who refuted his video on Russia. He said the same sort of things about all of them. Like, he just tries to frame them as like harassing him and attacking him for no reason, when obviously we are responding to him on the merits of his arguments, of which there are none. Another thing about Kraut, before we continue, just to show what I was saying about Shirion Collective. So this was, I use the past tense because now it doesn't really exist anymore, because the guy who made it and funded it initially was doxed or revealed by a Guardian investigation, and it basically collapsed after that. But as you can see here, revealed the tech entrepreneur behind a pro-Israel hate network. The Guardian used public records and open source materials to identify David Linden of the Shirion Collective. David Linden, he's like a pornographer who co-wrote a guidebook for OnlyFans. And after this, the group sort of collapsed, but you can still see some of the remnants of their harassment campaign against me. If you search for like Bad Empanada Shirion, you get tweets from them saying, Bad Empanada, you're a convicted sex offender. And then saying, Bad Empanada is a pedo. Anyone who follows him is a pedo. He has been charged with child crimes. But most of this wasn't actually on their Twitter, because the Shirion Collective Twitter, I think it was David Linden's personal account. Not 100% on that, but it was definitely just one person. The main organism that they used was like a Telegram channel where they posted their targets to targeted harassment with Twitter accounts and stuff like that. Drew Pavlou was a member. Drew Pavlou was a member of this Telegram group who would participate in their pro-Israel harassment and doxing campaigns. So yeah, that's where that screenshot comes from. These guys made it. So aside from that, I just wanted to say that, someone like Kraut who just spams Twitter all the time, he just posts pictures of my face on Twitter all the time. He just invents this harassment narrative about me when I literally have not directly engaged with him. Like maybe I like responded to him on Twitter 2 or 3 times like ever, and made videos responding to his videos. And for him, that is like a 5-year-long harassment campaign. And then you look at his channel. He has not made a video in 4 fucking months. For that matter, he has not made a video longer than 30 minutes in a year and a half. So what the fuck is this guy doing with his time? I'm a YouTuber. I make videos that are way more complicated, that take way more work than his videos do. His videos are unsourced, made-up garbage. They mostly plagiarizes anyway. Your last video was 20 minutes long and you haven't made another video in 4 fucking months? This guy is just sitting at home doing nothing all day, living off Patreon income. His patrons should be pissed because they're not getting what they're paying for. $2,000 a month going to absolutely nothing while this guy just sits around. Because he's certainly not working. The videos that he makes, there's no way that these take more than a month. And that's a stretch too. 2 to 3 weeks at most. This guy just does not work. Instead of working, he spams Twitter, complaining that people who have debunked him like a part of some sort of evil cabal that is persecuting him everywhere, like a gangstalking conspiracy theorist. And yeah, that's all there is to say about Kraut, who ironically, in his ridiculous quest to make shit up, has posted actual defamation against me that I think he may have difficulty proving in court.